You stand on this land right now, a city called Athens. Have you ever wondered where that name actually comes from? Right, it comes from Athena, the goddess of wisdom in Greek mythology. But here's the thing, if the story had gone just a little differently, this city might have carried a completely different name, a different god's name entirely. And honestly, it almost did. That's exactly what we're digging into today. Who almost became the patron of Athens, and why things turned out the way they did. The legendary contest between Poseidon and Athena, let's get into it. A long time ago, there was a city ruled by a king named Cecrops. It had no name yet, just a small settlement built around a rocky hill overlooking the Aegean. See the Acropolis. But as the city grew and started to thrive, a question came up that couldn't be ignored. Who would be its patron god? The gods on Olympus were always watching over human cities, each one hoping to be worshipped and honored. And this particular city caught their attention. Olive trees, clear skies, a stunning hilltop. The kind of place a god would want to claim as their own. The first to step forward was Poseidon, god of the sea. Powerful, unpredictable, and carrying a trident that could split the earth and stir the ocean, he climbed to the top of the Acropolis and drove that trident straight into the rock. The ground cracked, and from beneath it, a spring burst forth, water rushing up and flowing down the hillside. This was his gift to the city. He said something like, "With this spring, you'll never go thirsty. And through the sea, you'll be able to trade with the entire world. Choose me, and this city will rule the Mediterranean." But Poseidon had a rival, Athena, goddess of wisdom and war strategy. She didn't make a dramatic entrance. She simply stood on the hill, pressed the tip of her spear into the earth, and waited. Then, slowly, a sprout pushed through the soil. Branches spread, leaves unfurled. A full olive tree grew right before everyone's eyes. Her message was clear: this tree gives you oil, shade, and timber. The fruit can feed you and heal your wounds. I offer wisdom, peace, and something that will last. Choose me. Two very different offers. Poseidon promised power and reach. Athena offered something quieter but more lasting. And now the decision was in the hands of the people. King Cecrops and the citizens gathered at the Acropolis to see both gifts for themselves. They went to Poseidon's spring first. And that's when they noticed something. The water was salty, pure seawater. Now, it carried a symbolic meaning. A connection to the sea, to trade, to the wider world. But you couldn't drink it. And beyond that, Poseidon had a reputation. Fierce, volatile, not exactly the kind of god you'd want watching over your home. The thought of living under his protection made a lot of people uneasy. Then they looked at Athena's olive tree. And this was different. This was something they could actually use. The wood was strong enough to build tools and boats. The fruit gave them food and oil. That oil could light their lamps, clean their skin, preserve their food. And Athena herself, even as a goddess of war, was known for strategy and wisdom over brute force. There was something steady and trustworthy about what she was offering. The people made their choice. They picked Athena, and from that point on, the city carried her name, Athens. Poseidon was furious. He felt dismissed. He had brought the sea itself to their doorstep, and they had turned him away. According to the myth, he sent floods and drought to the region in retaliation. But time and again, Athena guided the people through it, and Athens went on to become one of the most celebrated city-states in all of ancient Greece. Now here's something worth knowing. Poseidon's spring didn't just disappear from the story. On the north side of the Acropolis, there's a temple called the Erechtheion. And inside that temple, there's said to be the very mark left by Poseidon's trident, the spot where that spring once rose from the earth. The Athenians never completely forgot Poseidon. They kept honoring him quietly, believing that his spring still ran somewhere deep beneath the city, connected to the sea. They respected his power even after choosing someone else, which, honestly, says a lot about how people think when they're living between faith and practicality. This myth is about more than two gods competing over a city. It's often read as a clash between raw power and wisdom, between conquest and creation. But what I find most interesting is the question underneath all of it. What do people actually value when it comes down to a real choice? Poseidon's offer wasn't wrong. Athens did eventually become a great maritime power. Naval strength and sea trade were a massive part of what made the city so influential. But in that moment, the people chose something different. They chose something that could grow, nourish, and endure. Athens didn't just become powerful. It became the birthplace of philosophy, democracy, and art. And maybe that says something about the kind of foundation they chose to build on. So the next time you're standing at a crossroads, weighing something that looks powerful against something that quietly makes sense, maybe think about which god you're listening to, Poseidon or Athena. The choice, as always, is yours.